I want to, at the first part, tell you a little bit about the Volkswagen Group, and then the Chattanooga engagement. And after that, feel free to ask any question you want to concerning Volkswagen, and I try to answer that. So just for the Volkswagen Group, some basic figures. You may know that the German economy is the most powerful in the European Union, so we are standing for 25% of the GDP of this 27 countries. And within Germany, the Volkswagen Group is the most powerful and biggest company. We built last year more than 8 million cars, had a sales revenue of 159 billion euro, a profit of close to 16 billion euro, so close to $20 billion. And we employ 502,000 people directly. And if you look at all the dealerships and after-sales business and suppliers, we think that about 10 million people are directly economically dependent on Volkswagen. That is more than Tennessee's population. If you look at the world ranking of cars, so this is by the end of 2011, we were the second biggest car company in the world. Some say the biggest because GM counts also its 30% minority stake in a Chinese company. This year we will be probably the number 3 because GM's main market, the US, are having a strong rebound, and Toyota's also coming back after their disaster of the earthquake. This is our picture of our headquarters in Wolfsburg. So it's a brick building, an old-fashioned brick building that has air conditioning since 3 years. This is the heart of the company. It's located in Wolfsburg, Germany. That's in the northern part of Germany. 20 years ago, it was 5 miles away from the Iron Curtain, so pretty periphery in Germany. We built 8.5 million cars last year, and that means we have a daily production worldwide of about 35,000 cars. There are now 99 plants worldwide, just 1 in the US, the majority in Europe. I will come back to that later. We have 502,000 employees, I already said that. And we are building and offering through the whole company about 240 different car models. So I told you we were number 2 in the world last year. And here in this graphic, you see our market share in the different important car markets in the world. And when you look at it, we always have double-digit numbers in Western Europe, Asia. We are market leader in Western Europe since 1984, and in China since 1984 as well, I guess, because for a long time we were the only car producer in China. In Asia, we have 11%. In South America, we are producing cars since 1952, so we have also a big market share. But everywhere, the market share is double-digit, except the US. When we look at the history of sales in the US, your moms and dads, maybe also grandparents, still knew the Beetle. The Beetle had its main sales in the 70s, 1969, 1970, 1971. And then you see how the numbers dropped. The worst year was 1993 with 60,000. So that was a drop by 90%. In the year 1970, we had a market share of 10% in the US market, and now we are at the 3.9. But our goal is to really increase our sales to 800,000 by 2018. And as you see, it's quite a way to go. And selling so much cars does not just happen so, and just trying to do that your best, but you have to really have a strategy. So in 2008, Volkswagen set up a strategy, a worldwide strategy. having different targets. One was to sell more than 10 million cars. One is to have the best customer satisfaction, the highest return on investment, and so on. Part of this strategy was to increase the American sales, the US sales, to 800,000. And to achieve that, we also put in place a special strategy for the US market. The US market, one was to become a volume manufacturer again. So by the time we priced ourselves out of the market, I mean, we had good cars, but the prices were pretty high. So we repositioned the Passat and the Jetta with their prices, but also with their car properties or characteristics. That's a better name. We decided for a local production to be close to the market, to have shorter reacting time, to be also have a better feeling what's going on in the market, also to produce an American car in America, and also to fence currency fluctuations. So you may wonder why the microbus is not anymore in the market here. That's because of currency fluctuations. The euro became so high that it didn't make any sense to export the car anymore to the US. We also put more attention to the dealer network because they are selling our cars. And the whole organization was internally reorganized. And a special feature for that was that we relocated our headquarters from the Detroit area to Washington. One of the reasons was also to get out of this depressive atmosphere around Detroit, to be another location where you really have to spirit for a new beginning. The decision to put up a plant in the US was made public by the end of 2000, or by the middle of 2007, second half 2007. As a consequence, more than 4,000, we received mail from more than 4,000 cities and regions in the US who wanted to have that plant. 398 locations, regions, cities, communities sent in really serious applications. And then in the end, we had three regions that were left. That was Marshall in Michigan, Huntsville in Alabama, and Chattanooga in Tennessee. We had a real catalog that was done by an agency, a relocation agency, but we had a catalog of criteria. It starts with workforce. Is there an available workforce? Chattanooga had the advantage that there was an industry experienced workforce. Chattanooga had an industry that was in decline since decades, but people knew what industrial work was. They also had a quite good education level. Logistics was quite good. Chattanooga, our site there has connections to 2 railway companies that are competing. So we are shipping 85% of our cars by rail, and that was the target right from the beginning. So we needed a rail connection. I-75 from Florida to Detroit is passing by. An airport is close by. The Tennessee River is close by. So logistics-wise, the distance to the big ports is not too far. So logistics-wise, it was quite an ideal location. Another point, the incentives. We received quite a lot of incentives for infrastructure and for training. Also a tax break for 30 years. Well, the big three have it as well. But there was especially the infrastructure, I will come back to that later, is fantastic. Quality of life, Tennessee River, boating. You have the Smoky Mountains close by. The area itself has the Cumberland Trail, has mountain biking, dragon flying. So it's all what you can think of. And the political support was really good. So there was, for us, there was and still is no difference between Democrats and Republicans. Republicans, they are, when it comes to Volkswagen, they are really bipartisan, and it's a pleasure to work with all the local and the state's representatives. Yeah, what we are doing there, that was the plan in 2008, to set up a plant with a body shop, a paint shop, and an assembly. A bigger plant also can use a press shop where you have the panels that are then stamped and being pressed into the right configuration. Then you have the body shop where the body is being welded. And the welded body goes then to the paint shop, is being painted, and in the assembly shop, all these parts that belong to a car, like tires, engine, and so on, is being assembled. So we have this 3 parts of a main plant. The site is 1,400 acres. Yeah, you see it's $1 billion investment. We just building one product. This is the new Passat that was launched in September 2011. Our capacity was planned for 150,000. This is what we will produce this year, 150, 155. And for the next year, we plan a capacity increase to 180,000, excuse me. We promised to create 2,000 jobs. Now, today, we have 3,350. So that worked very well. Those are the phases of the whole project. In 2008, after the decision was made published, we prepared the site. In 2009, we had, you see that's in German. I missed it. We put up the buildings. In 2010, we installed the equipment, and 2011 was the ramp up of the car. We not only built the plant here at that time, but at the same time, we also built the first pre-series of the car. So it's not that you construct a car and then you put it into operation. You construct a car, and then you see how can it be produced, and sometimes you also modify parts. And you modify equipment as well. So you have, we have this pre-series cars, and then we had the start of production in early 2011. And as you can see here, it's also a slow start. You produce 2-3 cars a day, and today we are at a speed of 35 jobs per hour, so we produce 35 cars per hour. And also see the red curve was the planning, and the blue curve was the real. It's not always according to plan. It still continues. 2012, we started to export cars not only to Mexico and Canada, but also to the Arabian Gulf coast countries. So that's around the Arabian Gulf, and to South Korea. Next week or the week after next week, we will have a press release saying we exported the 20,000th car to that area.